Good evening, Facebook and YouTube. JDev has returned once again to give you exactly what you want. Of course, that would be more of me giving my thoughts, my opinions, and of course, my expert analysis on a certain topic subject. Tonight, I'm going to be covering the most recent UFC pay-per-view event, which was UFC 229 last week. And then, of course, I'll be talking about the upcoming UFC pay-per-view events for the rest of 2018. So if you're ready to talk about fighting, you're in the right place. If you're not ready to talk about fighting or discuss about fighting, then you should go somewhere else. Go to another channel or go to somebody else's Facebook page and stalk away. Anyway, so talking about last week's UFC 229 pay-per-view, of course, the main event of the evening was Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov for the UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, or championship of the world. And of course, Khabib Nurmagomedov came out on top. That was my original prediction, and then I changed my prediction to Conor McGregor. I was wrong, but Khabib won with a submission in the third round. I think it was the third round or it was the fourth round. One of the two. It was an okay fight. It wasn't that entertaining. I mean, Khabib did what I thought he was going to do. Get him to the ground and tie up his legs and just kind of work his way up and try to wear out Conor. And Conor just, I don't know, he didn't have what it takes to beat Khabib Nurmagomedov. And then, of course, the melee that happened after the fight. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. That's ridiculous. It shouldn't happen. But, I mean, it happened, and it got people talking about UFC. So, what it is, what it is, what it is. A lot of people aren't talking about the co-main event of the evening, which was Anthony Pettis versus Tony Ferguson, which was a great fight. And Pettis looked really good, but Tony Ferguson looked like a beast. He just keeps on coming, and Pettis was trying to do these creative strikes and these creative moves to try to get to slow down Ferguson. He even knocked him down at one point. I thought Pettis was actually going to win the fight, which shocked the shit out of me. And then on that particular blow, he actually broke his hand. So after the third round was over, his corner man called the fight and doesn't want his fighter to fight a fucking relentless beast like Tony Ferguson with a broken fucking hand. So Ferguson came out on top, as I suspected. And then in the other fight that I remember from the night, you had Volkov versus Derek Lewis in the heavyweight division. And Volkov was winning the match, or winning the fight the whole time. Just with great jabs and great, technique. But Lewis was swinging for the fences and clipped him at the end of the fifth round, or end of the third round, because it was a 3-round fight, and actually won the fight. Lewis he's a very unconfident fighter. There's a lot of holes in his game, but you can't, if somebody has the punching power that Derek Lewis has, that particular fighter can win at any time. So that leads me to UFC 230, which Derek Lewis is now in the main event. Of course, the fight is on November 3rd, Saturday, November 3rd at Madison Square Garden, and he's going to fight Daniel D.C. Cormier for the heavyweight title. Daniel Cormier should win that fight because Derek Lewis he's just terrible. But he does get those one-punch knockouts. So DC needs to watch out. He needs to take the fight to the ground and immobilize Derek Lewis so he can't throw haymakers and just ground and pound him and beat the snot out of him and whatnot. So Daniel Cormier is fighting Derek Lewis in the main event. The co-main event, which that card, of course, has gone through some changes, is now actually Chris Weidman versus Luke Rockhold. I've already talked about this fight. It's Weidman Rockhold 2. Of course, I want Chris Weidman to win. He did lose their first fight. He was winning and then did something stupid to get caught, and then Rockhold ground and pounded the shit out of Weidman. But I want Weidman to win. On that card, no longer will you see Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier, as that has been pulled due to an injury by Poirier. And now Diaz wants to just wait for Khabib Nurmagomedov. I don't know if that fight would happen. I don't know what's going on with the lightweight division. So that was that. That's what I recall off of that card now. And then, of course, you have there's 2 events in December, the pay-per-view events. There's one with Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega. They've scheduled that fight yet again. We'll see if it happens this time. I really expect Brian Ortega to beat Max Holloway. The guy is very skilled. And Holloway's good, but Ortega's really good too. So I don't have a lot of expert analysis on that because I haven't seen a lot of those guys fight a lot. But, of course, you have the second pay-per-view in December, which is on December 29th And that main event will be headlined by Alexander Gustafsson versus John Bones Jones. 2 for the light heavyweight championship of the world. Apparently, Daniel D.C. Cormier will be stripped the second that fight starts, and the winner will be the light heavyweight champion. So John Jones will be back before the end of 2018, which I predicted last year Jones would fight in 2018, barring an injury or suspension. I will be right, as usual. It's great always being right, because I'm always right. Of course, I expect John Jones to win. I do like Alexander Gustafsson as a fighter, because in that first fight, I think he did take John Jones to the limit, but he didn't land anything that had John Jones staggering or anything like that. It was just a matter of he was winning by points, but then Jones caught him with that spinning back elbow, and it was all Jones from there. So I do expect John Jones to win that fight, and that should be entertaining. And of course, the co-main event of that evening, barring any changes to the card, is Amanda Nunes versus Chris Cyborg in a fight for Cyborg's title, because Nunes is the champion as well. You know, I haven't really been impressed in the fights that I've seen Cyborg fight. She's been kind of, I don't know. I think she's a little overrated, and maybe it's just because the competition isn't good. But with that in mind, I think Amanda Nunes is a beast. And with her not having to cut a lot of weight for this fight, I'm going to go with Amanda Nunes in that fight. I really am going to go with Amanda Nunes. And that's, a lot of people probably would say I'm crazy for picking Amanda Nunes, but I've seen Amanda Nunes fight like 4 times. She's been a killer in all those fights, especially against Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate. So we'll see what happens. But that's the fights, you know, the main cards for the rest of the year. And then, of course, you have the fight nights, which there's a fight night in Wisconsin, and that would be Kevin Lee versus Ally Quinta, which should be a good fight. I like Kevin Lee. I expect him to come out on top in a lightweight battle. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Obviously, John Jones is coming back at the end of the year, and I am excited, and definitely check Club DeVoe out that night, because Club DeVoe will be hosting that fight, and it will be awesome fun and excitement for December 29th. So leave a comment, express your opinions on the fights that we talked about here, and I'm sorry if I didn't go into details on other fights that are happening or that already happened. I just don't have the time. So yes, check out all the fights that are happening and leave a comment. Do whatever you got to do. Just get the word out there. Let your opinion be heard, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.